I'm Mrs. Amita Kulkarni. I welcome you all to in this year 2020-21. This year also I'm going to deal with the biology chapters from your science syllabus. We have in all 6 chapters for your science syllabus. 3 are for the first term and 3 are there for second term. So first 3 chapters are chapter number 5, the fundamental unit of life, then chapter number 6, tissues, and chapter number 7, organization of living organisms or diversity in living organisms. So these 3 lessons we are going to study for the first term, and the remaining 3 lessons, that are nothing but lesson number 13, why do we fall ill, lesson number 14, natural resources, and lesson number 15, improvement in food resources. These 3 lessons we are going to study in our next term. So these 3 chapters are there nearly for 30 to 36 marks out of your 80 marks for term 1 exam. Then for the FAs or for the periodic test, we are going to take 20-20-20 as we have done for your 8th standard. The same way we are going to conduct for your 9th standard. The exam pattern is going to remain one and the same like that of 8th standard. So first, let us begin with our first chapter, that is nothing but the fundamental unit of life, cell. This chapter is quite a revision kind of chapter for you because last year we have studied cell, the structural and functional unit of cell of life. This lesson we already have studied. So same lesson but a little bit in detail we are going to study this year. So let us begin with this lesson. So you already have studied that there are unicellular organisms, there are multicellular organisms, and these unicellular and multicellular organisms, based on the number of cells present in them, we bifurcate. So uni means single, cellular means cell. So the organisms which have just one single cell are unicellular. So we say it as cell. So what is the cell? The cell is nothing but the basic living structural and functional unit of life is nothing but cell. So it's a living structural and functional unit. That means a single cell independently can also perform all the life processes, and many cells together they divide the labor and they can show the division of labor into them and perform various life processes. So multicellular organisms show this division of labor. That means many cells come together and perform one single function. And this is how multicellular organisms perform their functions, perform their day-to-day life activities. So this cell is discovered by Robert Hooke in the year 1665. This discovery of cell we already have studied in last year, but we are just going to take a quick glance on it, and we will see again that which scientists have discovered what. So in the year 1665, Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Before that, one more scientist called as Malpighian Malpighi is also has discovered the cell, but he actually could not be able to give the name to the cell, so he called it as utricles. But after that, with the help of simple microscope, first Robert Hooke discovered the simple microscope, and from that he actually has studied the cork of the plant. So cork cells from the plant he has taken. Cork cells are the harder part of the plant main stem, that is the brownish color part, the woody part of the big stem of the plant is nothing but cork. So he has taken a thin slice of that cork and he observed it under the microscope. I am going to give you the diagram, the figure of this microscope which he has discovered. The first microscope that I am going to send with this clip. And with this clip I am going to send one more video clip in which you are going to see all these discoveries and what they have discovered also. So First, Robert Hooke has discovered the microscope, and with the discovery of microscope, he has studied the thin slice of cork under the microscope, and he has observed that there are certain hexagonal compartments inside it, and he has given the name to this compartment as cellula. And cellula are nothing but the little rooms. He named it as little rooms, cellula, and then afterwards the name has come as cell. So this is how the cell is discovered by Robert Hooke in the year 1665. After that, in the year 1674, Leeuwenhoek has discovered the cell, the free living cell in the pond water. One single cell, unicellular organism he found in pond water. And then he said that yes, one cell also can perform all the important life processes. Then in the year 1831, Robert Brown discovered the protoplasm in the cell. That is nothing but cytoplasm. When cytoplasm plus all the cell organelles, we have studied last year what is cytoplasm, what are cell organelles, everything. So when we mix cytoplasm with the cell organelles, it is termed as protoplasm. So he coined the name as protoplasm to all the material present inside the cell. So he discovered the protoplasm. Then in the year 1838 and 1839, two scientists, Sheldon and Schwann, they discovered the cell theory. That they put forth that how actually the cell works, what are the different functions of the cell, how it is independent, and what are the different functions from different parts of the body the cell can perform. So, and they coined it as cell theory, and they discovered the cell theory. Then in the year 1839, Purkinje discovered the nucleus inside the cell. That there is a nucleus inside the cell which actually governs the whole functioning of the cell. So he discovered the nucleus. And then in the year 1855, Virchow has further expanded the cell theory using all this material, using the nucleus, the discovery of nucleus, the discovery of protoplasm, the discovery of other parts of the cell. So depending upon that, in the year 1855, Virchow has discovered the and expanded the cell theory which was put forth by Sheldon and Schwann. So this is how the cell is discovered. I'm going to give you, as I have told you, that I'm going to give you a video clip in which the detailed about the discovery of cell has been shown. So I want you to go through that video also and the diagram, and I'm going to provide you the notes. You are going to write down the notes in your notebook as we have done last year. First we will complete the notes, then I'm going to give you question and answers, same way as we have done last year. This year one more extra portion in your lessons is added, and that is nothing but in-text questions. Last year we didn't have that in-text questions. But this year we are going to have in-text questions. That means the questions which are based on certain points in your lesson, so as to check whether you understood that particular point or not. So as we are going to complete one by one the points, we are going to discuss these in-text questions also. I'm going to give you the answers of in-text questions also. I'm going to send it through the WhatsApp, and you are going to write down all the question and answers in your notebook with the notes. So I hope you understood the definition of the cell and the discovery of the cell in this session. So I'll stop here and I'll meet you in our next session. Thank you.